Hi everyone, welcome to the Footballbets4u podcast, episode number 2 of season 4. I am your host, Collie. I'm joined this week by War.
How's it going, lads?
And Paddy.
Hello there, how's it going?
Podcast, man. So, lads, we're going to be looking at a few things today. So we're going to obviously have our predictions for the Premier League game week 2. We have a few questions that were sent in from the followers on Instagram. We've obviously got our usual bets. And lads, the debut of a new segment, the Footballbets4u fashion show. Ooh.
Oh
There's been massive rumors about this that they were looking to bring it over to Milan, but we've kind of taken it back here, taken it to the pod, and that's it. So what we're doing on that is just going to be looking every week. We're going to pick a team. It's going to be the Premier League. So we're going to work, I think we're going to work from A all the way down. Looks like a fake tan on my hands, doesn't it? We're going to work from A all the way down. So we're going to start
Let's bring a bikini line for the fashion show.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Just tanning everybody, rubbing their backs and all. So we're going to do like Arsenal starting off, then it's going to be Aston Villa, and then whoever comes alphabetically next. So we're going to be looking at their home kit, their away kit, and their third kit. And we're going to be talking about them, and we're going to be rating them out of 10. So eventually at the end of it, we'll come up with some sort of league. So we're going to do one team each week. So we'll get a good bit of kind of crack out of that, I think. Luckily, that one that Water's wearing isn't in it, because that would have got a 0 from me.
There's the fella that was wearing a bleeding tea cozy for a t-shirt, for a jersey.
Loving it.
At the OJ colours.
Right, lads, we're going to jump into the first thing that we're looking at. And we've got a new graphic. We've been building it up. I want to take this off so it doesn't ruin it. And here we go. It's the predictions. Unreal.
Wow. Is that your hand?
Very good.
It's my hand, yeah.
Is that your crystal ball?
Where would you get it? Where would you get
Amazing.
that type of stuff, lads? Lads, the first game. I think what we'll do is I don't think we'll spend too long on the predictions. I think we'll pick a couple of kind of good games and talk a bit about them. So the first game we're starting off with is a 12:30 on Saturday. It is Liverpool and Burnley. 1-6 for Liverpool, 6-1 for the draw, and 16-1 for Burnley. Lads, obviously Liverpool last week coming off a good 3-0 win against Norwich. Look, we didn't really expect them to do much against Liverpool. I thought the clean sheet was pretty obvious. Went with 2 Liverpool defenders in the fantasy football team. So, Water, how do you see this one going? And do you think that the return of Van Dijk means that Liverpool are back and better than ever? Or do you still think it was kind of just a standard result against Norwich?
I actually watched the game, and in some way, it's a great help to them that Van Dijk is back. But I still think as the season goes on, they're going to struggle. Norwich didn't really offer much. Cantwell had a bit of kind of glimpses of what he could be in the first half. Pukki didn't really look like he was on it, but I guess Van Dijk just managed them very well. Look, having Van Dijk back to any team is going to improve them. Liverpool looked like they had a bit of sharpness about them, but yes, they're good now. It's week 1. Let's all calm down. A lot of teams got excited during week 1.
Could we throw United into the mix there? About
a lot of United fans did get excited, but so did a lot of Liverpool fans, and so did a lot of Chelsea fans. But
you're referencing me there. Let's call a spade a spade. You only know me as a Chelsea fan. You're talking about me.
Oh, absolutely. And you just went overboard so much. Overboard.
Yeah, look, had to be done.
Yeah, but for Liverpool, I think as the season goes on, the African Cup of Nations is there. Injuries will weigh in. I just don't think they're going to be there or thereabouts by the end of the season. They can play well now, but I just don't think they're going to be. They're going to be there.
We'll get a score prediction because I don't think this is one of the kind of best games of the week. So give us a score prediction, War, and then we'll jump on to Paddy.
I'm going to go 3-1 Liverpool, and I'll go Salah to score.
Okay, and Paddy, what do you reckon? Are you kind of the same thing with Water, or do you reckon like kind of Liverpool are going to be challenging again?
I think they'll be up around the top 4. Like, you know, They have it. Like Klopp knows how to get the best out of them. They Van Dijk back. They didn't have a strong midfield. Did a couple of players out the weekend against Norwich, and they still seem to manage the game fairly well. Salah back on the score sheet again. Goal machine. He'll be there for the season. So yeah, I think it'll be an easy win for Liverpool. I'm looking at 2-0.
And scorer?
Salah.
Yeah, it's just actually one thing to mention as well. What we've all done is, so obviously you're going to hear us talking about, we think they'll finish top 4, we think they'll finish blah, blah, blah. You might not hear us specifically say where they're going to finish. What we've done is we've all made our season predictions, but we've all sent them across to me, and I have them sitting in an email, and I haven't opened the email, and we're going to reveal what we've picked and what we've predicted on the last day of the season, the last pod.
Pay no attention to what I say.
Yeah,
with those predictions. Because,
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
myself
what I say tomorrow could completely contradict what I've just said yesterday. So, yeah, look, I have all our predictions in, but I got them in before last week's podcast. So before we even started, I had them all in, and they're all finalized, sealed, stamped, and delivered. So we'll see how we kind of got on.
Who really has the crystal ball?
Yeah. So that is Chris about the actual answer to that. So lads, I think again this is going to be a handy enough one for Liverpool. I don't see Burnley getting up to too much. Beaten by Brighton on the weekend. Obviously, kind of, I think they went 1-0 ahead, and then just Brighton just kind of took control then. And I don't think Burnley are going to do too much this season. I'm looking kind of bottom 6 for them. I think Liverpool are going to spank them again here, and I think it's probably going to be a 3-0 win for Liverpool. And I'm going to go with Firmino to score. It was interesting to see him coming on and scoring again. Then Jamie Sullivan, Burnley 1-0. Wouldn't be surprised. Love to see it. Next one, Villa and Newcastle lads, 3:00 on Saturday. 4-5 for Villa, 11-4 for the draw, and 10-3 for Newcastle. Lads, I don't know what you think, but I wasn't too impressed with Villa against Watford on Saturday there. I don't know what it is. To me, it just looks like they massively missed Grealish, and I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a good season. Although they've signed Danny Ings and they've signed Leon Bailey and stuff like that, I just don't think it's. I think they will not give the same creativity that Grealish does in that type of team. No. So I don't think that they're going to be doing anywhere near as well as they did last season. Paddy, we'll come to you on this one. What do you reckon for this match? Yeah,
both teams lost on the opening weekend. But I think like Newcastle have a couple of flair players there. Like I like Alan Saint-Maximin. He's a really good player.
Very good, isn't he?
Callum Wilson's good up top.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this Joelinton. Anyone know anything about him?
I actually had him in my fancy football team, but he was on the bench. He didn't start. He played decent enough at kind of towards the end of last season, so I thought he was going to be doing a bit more. But I don't know whether it's a fitness thing with him or not. But decent enough player when he's playing and he's on form.
The Villa, I agree totally with what you said with Villa. I think Grealish is too big of a loss for them, considering like he was their captain as well. Yeah. Like whatever about the skills he had, like he was probably the glue that held that team together. You know, motivated them going into games. And sometimes you can't replace that, or you can't replace that immediately. Like he was a Villa man through and through. Like he just couldn't obviously pass up going to Man City. I'm going to go with a Newcastle win. I'm going to go for a tight win. I'm going 2-1, and I'm going to go for Saint-Maximin to score first.
Okay. What did you think yourself of Newcastle and Villa on the weekend?
I didn't catch much of them, but I was surprised about Villa losing against Southampton, wasn't it? I think it was.
Yeah. Oh, Watford.
Oh, yeah, which was even more surprising then. And I thought Martinez, who's normally decent enough shot stopper now, he got a good few saves, but surprisingly letting them goals. Looking at their defence, like it's Mings and Konsa. I'm not mad about Mings as a central defender. I think he gets caught out a lot of the time. Although looking at their squad, I think they have a half decent squad, particularly their midfield. Yes, losing Grealish, you've lost goals and you've lost creativity, but they've bought into half decent players and they're only in the last few weeks. So we'll give them time to kind of settle in. Newcastle, I said it last week, I'm going to stick with it. I absolutely hate Newcastle. I hope they go down. So for that reason alone...
What is it? Why do you hate Newcastle?
I don't know. It's just a feeling I get with them whenever I watch them. Like I just hate you. Like, and like I love Steve Bruce because of United, but I just look at
Rafa was
Newcastle.
there.
Like,
Steve Heads, you mean?
Steve Heads, yeah. Sorry, Steve Heads. I said your name wrong. Yeah, and Villa, big fan of McGinn. Think he's a good little footballer. Big fan of Ings and a big fan of Watkins. And I think if they can gel quite nicely together with them new players, they won't be up where they were last season. But I think they're safe. They're a safe mid-table team. Newcastle, I don't see it. Yes, they have their flair players, but where were they last year? You know that way. So I'm gonna go with a 2-1 Villa win with Ings to score 2.
All right, lads, I'm just going to cut to the chase here. I'm going to say it's going to be a draw. I think, like I said, 2 poor results for the weekend for both teams. Not really as surprising with kind of Newcastle's draw or defeat against West Ham. I think West Ham are still going to be decent enough this season. So I don't think they're going to be as good as last season, but definitely enough to beat Newcastle. So I wasn't too surprised. I'm going to go with a draw. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw, and I'm going to say Danny Ings to score for Villa. I think he's going to get a couple of goals for him. I think he's going to be involved in a lot of goals, and I think he's going to score the majority of them. So I think Danny Ings is definitely going to get on it there. I think he's definitely one to have in the fantasy football for the next couple of weeks as well. So keep your eye out on that. Lads, we'll jump on to the next match, and it is Crystal Palace and Brentford. Put it in the diaries and tear out the page and fuck it into the bin, because this is one that you don't want to watch. 3:00 on Saturday, Crystal Palace 13-8. The draw is 21-10, and Brentford are 9-5. Lads, look, obviously, shock of the week was Brentford beating Arsenal 2-0. A lovely scene where the fan kind of went over to one of the fans. The fan obviously had Down syndrome and stuff like that, so it was lovely to kind of see them giving a little bit back to the fans. And the manager, I can't remember, it's Frank something, or I can't remember his name, but it was a nice touch and classy from Brentford. Paddy looks like he's about to say something there.
No.
He's like that. So yeah, look, I do respect Brentford in that kind of in that regards. Crystal Palace with Patrick Vieira there, I don't know whether it's going to happen for them this season. There's a couple of decent players again, like we were saying last week. Paddy Zaha, the man that wants to move every season but never gets that move. He wasn't up to much against Chelsea. He just kept fucking crying and moaning. So I don't see him doing much. And lads, I've gone with a Palace win on this one, but I'm purely going on for Brentford. They're probably going to shit themselves now that they're after beating, and like they're on such a high. I think there's going to be a massive fall from them here. So I am going to go with a Palace win. I'm going to say a 2-1 win for Palace, and I'm going to go Zaha to score. So I will go to you, Paddy. What do you think on this one?
If Brentford had have beaten anybody but Arsenal, I would have been saying they'll do a lot better now this weekend. But again, I couldn't believe Arsenal, just the way they played again. And as I said, I had great expectations for them coming into this season. I really did. I thought they were going to do well. But same old Arsenal again, just no backbone whatsoever.
Yeah.
And Brentford just bullied them, completely and utterly bullied them. And that's just how everybody knows. Arsenal, like, they just don't seem to realise they need to change how they play, or else all the lower teams will just bully them off the ball. Absolutely, all the time. It's ridiculous.
Obviously there was a kind of the absence of Aubameyang and Lacazette. They pulled out due to coronavirus, so that was confirmed. I don't know if it was today or not.
For a club like Arsenal, they shouldn't be getting beaten by Brentford for losing 2 players.
No,
they shouldn't be. They should have a squad strong enough to be able to deal with stuff like that.
Like they still have
Drew, fair enough.
They've Saka. They still have Saka. They still have Pepe. You know what I mean? They've got enough there to kind of should have enough there to kind of bring them in and cover them lads. Like.
Yeah. Palace, like against Chelsea, opening game of the season. It was such a tough game for them. So it's very hard to judge where Palace are under Vieira at the moment. Very, very hard. I don't think many teams would have went to Stamford Bridge and won last weekend, considering the high they've been on after, the last couple of matches they've played in that. Yeah. So I think Palace will get a win here as well. I don't think they'll keep a clean sheet, so I think it'll be probably 3-1 to Palace. And I'm going to go for Zaha to score because, again, he's a point to prove.
Yeah. All right, Water, what do
The
you reckon?
window's still open.
Yeah, he's trying to get that move.
Yeah, I agree with Paddy about Brentford. If they played anyone, Arsenal. I think me and Paddy had conflicting arguments with Arsenal last week. I just think they're just getting worse and worse, and I think that showed. The Ben White debut was probably up there with one of the worst debuts I've seen from a player probably since Vidic against City when he made his debut. Him and Evra made their debut on the same day, and Evra was whipped off at halftime. They were atrocious, and I think they got beaten by City that day. But
Woodgate's on for Real Madrid. Do you remember that?
Why would you bring that up, man?
Touchy subject. Woodgate against Real Madrid is definitely up there as well. I think he fucking scored an own goal and then got sent off. Looking outrageous.
Yeah, he was completely bullied. He got caught under the ball, and I don't know what Arsenal's recruitment is because he's not a defender that wins all of his aerial duels. He used to have Lewis Dunk and who's the other defender beside him in Brighton? Lewis Dunk, and basically they had winners in that physicality, and he was more of the footballing player. Arsenal haven't even got someone to win the duel, so I think people are going to know how to play against them. And but fair play to Brentford. They came up in the Premier League and they stuck it to them. I think they'll be years up. I think they'll give Palace a good game. I think Palace have the defenders to deal with what Brentford are going to throw at them. So I'm actually going to give it a draw. I'm going to go 1-1, and I'm going to go with Tony to get his first Premier League goal.
Yeah, fair enough. He didn't get up to much on the weekend, but he is a player that kind of they've been talking about, so it's going to be interesting to see how he gets on. Lads, we'll move on to the next one. This will be a decent enough one, I think. 3 o'clock on Saturday. Leeds and Everton. Leeds 5-4. The draw is 13-5, and Everton 2-1. Again, we know what we're going to get with Leeds here. They're not going to change their tactics. It's going to be the exact same as it was against Manchester United, even though they lost 5-1. Everton, again, going to be decent enough this season, I think. A 3-1 win over Southampton. Comfortable enough, I suppose. How do we see this one going, Paddy? Do you think this will be an end-to-end game, or do you think kind of Leeds will maybe have learned a little bit from last week and kind of take their foot off the gas just a little bit?
I was looking at the Everton game as it was playing out, and they went 1-0 down. And I was like, fuck, this is the Rafa effect now. They're going to, drop the ball here. But they came back really well, I have to say. They really did. And the one thing they were missing under Ancelotti was a bit of consistency. If they have a good squad there, so if Rafa can get them playing consistently well, they could be up there for the Europa League spots, absolutely, this season. I think, a good cup run even as well. Leeds will be a good game because, again, they'll play open. They got absolutely hammered last weekend.
Yeah.
It's great one.
Gonna bring that one up and seeing how long we can get through without that coming up.
Wait till we come to the Sunday games. It's fine. I think this will be a 3-2, and I'm going to go for an Everton win, and I'm going to go for Richarlison first goal scorer.
Okay. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think it's going to be probably one of the most entertaining games of Saturday. Leeds are going to be Leeds. They're going to go for it. They're not going to care what scoreline it is. Everton weren't great towards the end of last season, but as Paddy said, they showed great resilience in terms of going 1-0 down. They have Richarlison, they have Calvert-Lewin, they have some really good players, and it's going to be a great game. There's going to be goals, so I'm going to go for about a 4-3 win for Everton.
Wow.
Jesus, yeah. That's an outrageous amount of goals.
FIFA.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a great game.
I'm definitely watching that. If it doesn't fucking come out, we can kill you.
This will be 0-0 now, watch.
Oh, wait and see. The only time I backed really 4 goals for Leeds and it finished 0-0. That actually happened last season.
So I'm going to put the scorer?
Calvert-Lewin to get one.
Yeah, I am going the same way. I'm not going 4-3 because I think that's crazy talk. But I am going with a Calvert-Lewin goal. I had him in the fancy football and it came up. You know when you get them little alerts where there's a little warning saying he might be out, and he hadn't trained with the squad or anything like that. I was like, oh, he's not worth it. I'll take him out of fancy team. Goes and fucking scores. So I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. But anyway, I do think he's going to score again, and I think he's going to have a good season actually. And 2-1 is a really good price for Everton against Leeds. Again, we just don't know what we're going to get with Leeds. Benitez should be tactically smart and be able to kind of deal with what they're going to do. So I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Everton, and I'm going to say Calvert-Lewin to score. So we'll go on to the next one. Right, lads, Man City and Norwich. This is probably going to be the biggest whitewash in history. I don't think I've ever seen a team as high as Norwich there. 22-1 to win. 9-1 for the draw, and City at home is 1-11. This is at 3 o'clock on Saturday. Lads, we have to obviously talk about last week, Man City getting beaten by Spurs. Did you expect that? Did you think that this could have happened? Or I think, Paddy, you might have guessed Spurs beating them. Were you surprised?
No, I didn't guess. I knew.
Mystic Pad. Were you really surprised at that one, or what did you kind of make of the whole City getting beaten on the first game?
I was, but I think when you look at it, like if you look at the highlights, City peppered them, like absolutely peppered them, and just couldn't get the ball across the goal line. Like I think they did everything they played.
Sorry, just to interrupt you there. They did put a lot of balls across, kind of in behind the back line, and it was crying out for someone like Harry Kane to be there, which is fucking ironic. Like,
and I find it so surprising that they didn't go for Lukaku, like City, if they're really looking for a forward, like really pronounced. They could have got him cheaper than they get Kane.
I think it's because they know they're going to get Kane.
Yeah.
Like even Lewandowski coming up now, that way.
Kane didn't travel with the Tottenham squad for the European game.
That was one of the biggest telling things, I think, of the week, lads. Obviously, Kane was named in the squad that was supposed to be travelling over to play. Who was it? Atletico Bilbao, was it? Am I saying that? I can't remember who they were playing anyway. But Kane didn't travel. That for me speaks volumes. He's trying to push a move out. There's only one place he wants to go, and that's Man City, and I can see why, because City are fucking screaming for a number 9. And I wouldn't be surprised. And if they do get Harry Kane, which I think they really will, City are going to be entertaining to watch anyway. That's for sure. Sorry, Walter, back to you there on that one.
No, you're grand. I think there was an element of luck to Spurs winning. That City they weren't fit. They hadn't trained that much, but they had the quality to go and beat them. And another day they play that game, City will thump them 5-0. That's what could have easily happened if they got an early goal. And fair play to Spurs, they showed resilience. They showed that they weren't any pushovers. They showed they were everything that Arsenal weren't the day before, or compared to the other night. And Son is still a top quality player. I'm surprised no one has been linked with him. In fairness,
he just signed a new 5-year deal there last week.
That's madness. That is madness for him.
I think it was 5 years. I think 4 or 5 years. A long-term deal anyway.
He should be with Bayern. He should be with Dortmund. He should be someone of that standard. He would literally thrive anywhere. I think it's going to be an easy City win. It's very hard to pick a goal scorer. I'm just going to go with Grealish because I thought he played quite well last weekend. So
this whole thing of with Man City, and just in terms of the fantasy football, because obviously we do the fantasy football show. There is a known thing online called Pep Roulette, where you just don't know what team Pep is going to play because he's got so many kind of options. That is one thing where I just cannot pick a Man City player. I think I went into the first game week, probably for the first time in a couple of years, without a Manchester City player in my team. And I'm glad I did, because I have no idea what I'm going to get with City. Don't know what their starting team is going to be. Don't know if they're going to shit the bed on the day. I think they'll be a lot more solid when they get Kane in. But yeah, so you just that was just something I wanted to kind of highlight. Paddy, what do you reckon on this one?
Yeah, you can't look past City. I think last weekend was very telling, and Tottenham played exactly how United played against them last season when they beat their run of 20 games in a row or something like that. You know, it was all counter-attacking football. They knew the way. City don't change the way they play.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of teams, if you have pace, you can play against them, and it worked for them. But again, you need a really, really strong defence, and you need to be lucky on the day as well, because the amount of attacks that came forward, they've weathered the storm well, and we know Tottenham are a bit weak defensively. But I think it's going to be I'm going to go for a 4-0 win for City, and I'm going to go for Jesus to score first.
Okay, yeah, I'm kind of on the same wavelength as you there. I think I will go with a 4-0. Yeah, I think City are probably gonna bash them. I'm gonna go with a 4-0 win. I'm gonna say Kevin De Bruyne to score, because I think he may get on the score sheet. I thought he was going to get on it this week or last week, but I think he will definitely get on it this week. Right, lads, we're gonna break off the fixtures for the moment. We are going to move on to the questions that we have been sent in. So, lads, prepare yourselves for another unbelievable graphic here.
Oh, stop playing
as we move in to the questions.
What about the
Sorry, cut you off there, buddy.
Looks great.
Lads, we were sent in 2 questions. I'm gonna just change that around so I can have that at the bottom. And we were sent in Jaden Trippy 2TR Who's winning the league? See, lads, I don't know if we can answer this one, because we've given our predictions. Can we answer this and ruin the whole point of us sending in predictions? I think we should be allowed to say 3 teams that we think will be challenging, because we're all probably going to have similar enough top 4. So I'm going to change the question to who's winning the league to who's challenging for the league. As many teams as you think are going to be challenging for the league. So, Paddy, who do you think will be challenging for the league?
City, the winners. Man City, Chelsea, United. I definitely think United are going to be up there. And you can't really look Liverpool as well. Yeah, I think that's a tough. You can't look past those 4. And it'd be great to have more than 2 at the end of the season, because it usually always does come down to 2 coming to the last couple of months of the season. But it would be great to have like a proper 4 teams in and about there coming to the last few games of the season. It would just make it so exciting. Yeah, but yeah, I think those 4 teams will be up around there. But
cool. War, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I think it's hard to look past City with how good they are. Chelsea as well have to be considered a serious threat now with their additions, especially with Lukaku. Even though his first touch is shocking, he still will be guaranteeing you.
Well, look, we're talking about back in United times. I don't know about now.
He's still the same. He's been used to Italian football for the last year, so he's probably gotten a bit worse. City.
He's back down there, Greg's. He'll be back eating pies and all.
Yeah.
So you're going with who?
City, United, and Chelsea. They're going to be the main contenders.
Yeah, I actually, to be honest with you, I've got the exact same answer. I think Chelsea, City, and United are going to be the 3 that challenge. I do think there is going to be a small little gap for, I think, United, Chelsea, and Liverpool. I think there's going to be a massive, not a small gap, a big gap between them. And I don't know, Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal, I'm not going to give anything away. But that's going to be like the 4 place. I think the top 3 are going to kind of create that little bit of a gap between themselves and 4th place. And I think them 3 teams are going to do it. Who's going to win it? I don't know. I do know. I know who's going to win it. It's in my predictions, but I can't reveal it.
I wonder who you're going to say.
Well, look, who knows? Who knows? I'm a realist, I think very, very logically about these type of things, Paddy. I did say Chelsea were going to win the Champions League last year.
First time for everything, I suppose.
I don't know. I just genius at times. Right, lads, we're moving on to the next one. This is a tough one. This is sent in from Jordan Murphy. Who would you support if your club didn't exist? I don't know. I'm gonna have it like there's an obvious cop out answer and say, well, I wouldn't support anybody in the Premier League.
No, you
I
have
would
to pick
support
someone.
someone else.
You have to.
But your club doesn't exist, so you never supported them. So you have to pick a Premier League team. I will allow kind of foreign teams as well, I suppose. What or who would you be going with?
If we're
Liverpool,
going off
maybe?
this season, no. If you're going to go off this season in terms of or this kind of era, I would probably say Leicester. They would be
Good
the team
choice.
support because
Yeah.
they play a nice brand of football, very well run club. They're not Liverpool. They're not City. They're not Chelsea.
Fair enough. Would you have a foreign team like that you would be supporting?
I was going to say Leeds, but then I don't know. They'd probably break my heart a bit too much because they just attack.
How foreign are they?
Oh, sorry. I thought you said a backup. I thought you said a backup team. A foreign team.
Yeah.
We're going to be holidays to Leeds next week.
I would normally say Barcelona because I spent most of my holidays in Barcelona or around that city, but because they're so corrupt, I won't. So it would have to be Madrid.
Fair enough. Paddy, who would you be going with? I know you're a massive Liverpool fan at heart, so probably be down with it.
But I was sitting here thinking to myself, when I was a kid, it was a bit, I suppose, before your time. Like, I was born in '82, so that was just at the end of when Liverpool was winning everything. So Liverpool was everywhere, and if it probably hadn't been for me dad being a Man United supporter, I probably very easily could have become a Liverpool supporter at that stage. I'm really glad I didn't.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say Liverpool now because I could never say I'd support Liverpool because I hate them.
No. I want you to say it.
Yeah, and I'm sure you do. Yeah, and then you'll be putting it everywhere, all over the social media. No,
breaking news: Paddy really supports Liverpool.
I suppose from a team that like could challenge and not for the league, but in and around there, I'm going to pick Spurs as a team, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, that's a controversial choice.
Yeah, I'm going to pick a Spurs, and from a foreign team, I'll probably pick Blackpool. No, from a foreign team, it'd be Barcelona.
Yeah. I had a long, hard think about this one for about 5 minutes, and
another oil company, is it?
I was just gonna say I like the oil money. So, like Man City are supported from my dad and my brother in my family, and it was nearly forced upon me, as a kid, and they nearly succeeded. But one man named Ruud Gullit changed all that. I was obsessed with his hair, and that's how I started supporting Chelsea. The auntie used to ring me when he was
This is how the fashion section came up.
Exactly, yeah. So this is all, it all links in. This is a circle of life, lads. And so Ruud Gullit was the reason that I turned to Chelsea. I would imagine that I would have either been a Man City supporter or possibly a Leeds supporter. My brother did. I don't know if you know Paddy, obviously, and more. My brother. He used to be a Leeds fan, before he was a City fan. Now this is at a very, very young age, and then he made the switch to Man City. He obviously knew the oil money was coming as well. So, so in my family, it would have been Man City and Leeds at the time. So I would imagine I would have been one of them, but thank fuck I'm not, because I would have been absolutely crucified last week with our last season with the Champions League loss.
What would have been like? What was it like at the Champions League final in your house? Did you go and watch it with them?
I didn't watch it with them. No, I didn't. Watched it I watched it in my house with Chris. And
that's right. Yeah.
Chris, to say the least, had an experience. I think he said within the first kind of 2 minutes of watching the match, I had called me dog a tick, told the neighbours to fuck off away from the house, shouted at the TV, said Werner was class, and I think this is all. He's like, right, this is going to be eventful. So there was kind of a few. He recorded me a couple of times. I didn't know he was doing it, but there was one in particular where I think Mount was coming in on goal and fucking Werner was there, and he should have shot but he passed it to fucking Werner instead, and I just reacted from it.
So you TT.
Yeah.
Temporary threats.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, there was. I would have loved to watch it with them, but I think we would have bet the head off each other, being honest.
And have you been allowed back into the family home since?
Yeah, I'm allowed back in. I had to pay a lot of money, and had to kind of give them false. Oh, you're going to win the league next year, and the Champions League's definitely yours next year as well. You know,
Rubbed them on the head, real patronising, like.
Yeah, very patronising, but had to boost their confidence back up. So yeah, I'm allowed back into the house now. So, where is it? Oh, I had the Champions League thing. I think it's in behind the telly. My dog kept eating it. But yeah, look, that's it. So I would say on this one, lads, Leeds or Man City would have been one of the teams that I would have supported. I'd say can't say which one because I hate them both. Lads, we're going to jump back into our predictions. Rightio. So, lads, the first game we have on Saturday at 7:30, Brighton and Watford. 5:30. Sorry, fucking hell. I look at the 7 and see, 7:30. Brighton and Watford, lads. Yeah. 8-11 for Brighton, 5-2 for the draw, and Watford are 4-1. Paddy, what way do you see this one going? Look, obviously Brighton beating Burnley 2-1 on the weekend, decent result, and Watford beating Villa 3-2. Which one of them results are you more impressed by? Brighton's result or Watford's?
Watford's, because I kind of seen Brighton had a couple of good results last season and they looked like, strong. And I know they were down there, but
yeah,
they weren't really getting sucked into the relegation battle, were they?
No, they were at one stage, but they kind of they always kept that little bit of a gap, like.
Yeah. So Watford definitely coming up. It was a good result for them. I think it's going to be a decent scoring game because, as you're saying, last week they can score. Watford especially conceded a few. So I'm going to go for a 2-2. I'm going to go for Danny Welbeck. Remember that wonder goal he scored last season?
Oh yeah, what a goal! I see he injured.
Trossard then. Jesus.
I don't know if he's injured. He might not be injured. I just saw.
You're very lucky I knew more than one player off the team
there. What do you reckon? Which one impressed you more over the weekend? Which result? Brighton beating Burnley or Watford beating Villa?
I would have went Watford beating Villa because I expected a bit more out of Watford. Brighton, I think their last result, I would expect them to be close against Burnley. I think Burnley are very much the same level as them, whereas I would have expected Villa to be above Watford in that respect. Yeah. And that's why I'm leaning towards Watford. They got goals. I know they conceded, but they played a better team compared to what Brighton played. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win, and I'm going to go with Sarr to get the goal for Watford, the all-decisive one.
Yeah, Sarr's a decent player. Scored against Villa on the weekend. Lads, I was kind of, do I say more impressed? But I was more impressed. I'm going to say more impressed because I can't think of any other words. I was more impressed by Brighton's win, just for the simple reason that we have the fans back in the stadium. Brighton were away from home. Burnley obviously had the fans behind them, and Watford were at home against Villa. So I just think that Brighton's kind of result was, to me, a little bit more impressive. Obviously, with it being away and being 1-0 down, I think they've done better to kind of come back and win. So, for me, I think Brighton's win was a little bit more impressive. I do fancy Brighton in this one as well, and I think it'll probably be a low enough scoring game. I'm going to go with a 1-0 win for Brighton here. I think it'll be a late goal as well, so around the 80th minute or so. And I'm going to go with a Mope goal. He scored there against Burnley, and I think he'll probably continue on. I think he's good for a couple of goals this season. So I'm going to go with Mope to score and 1-0 to Brighton. Lads, we'll move on to the next one. First game of Sunday at 2:00. Southampton and United. Here we go. Southampton 9-2. The draw is 16-5, and United are 4-7. Lads, let me hear it. 5-1, first game of the season. Penandez, hat-trick. Paddy, we were talking about, was
How did he
Fernandez
lose?
perhaps not going to get as
How
many
many
points?
penalties did he take for that 3 goals? Sorry.
Exactly. This is what I'm getting to. Give me a second. I'm getting to
sorry,
it.
Sorry.
I did kind of say in the last week that, like, will VAR changing the rules stop him getting a lot more points in the fantasy football because he scores a lot of penalties? It obviously didn't, and I don't know if Leeds just suited him playing against them. But do you see Fernandez? Look, he's after setting the fucking high standard there for the first game of the season. How do you see the rest of the season going for him?
You go first.
It's set up there for him. He has Pogba playing well. Pogba's playing for a transfer out there or a club to sign him up. So you'll probably see the best from Paul Pogba now over the next 6 to 9 months. You have Greenwood there. You have Sancho, so he was an outlet on the right. When Rashford gets back and you have Martial out on the left, you have Greenwood and Cavani up front. He has options. So he's going to have more space. We're going to be more threatening on both the right and the left-hand side of the field. It's set up for him. 3 goals against Leeds. It's great. It's unreal. We were winning 1-0. We went 1-1, and that's the kick in the bum that we needed to start playing again, and then we blew Leeds away. Leeds suited us, as I said. They attack, we counter-attack. I'm not getting my hopes up too much yet. It's an exciting start. It's a good confidence booster. But it's Leeds in the next 2 games. It wouldn't be like a United
fan to get their hopes up after 1 game now, would it?
No, never.
Never
were. But I think it's important that in the next 2 to 3 games and you find United not blowing teams out of the water on their own initiative, if it's taking them a goal, concede a goal, taking them to wake them up, that's when I'm more fearful, because that's what the issue was last season. They always had to come from behind. So I'd like to see them spanking teams before they draw level, in all honesty, before I start creaming my pants a little bit.
Bit of Randy Myers going on.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to give me a score prediction?
I wouldn't mind it, sure. What else am I here to do?
Exactly,
I'm going to go for 3-1 United. Great.
Paddy, go on. Let us have it. Go on. You've been waiting all week for it. Go on.
Bruno, the first Manchester United player to ever score a hat-trick on the first game of the season for United. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. For Manchester United to score 5 goals or more has happened 10 times under Ole. Happened 3 times between the Ferguson era and up to Ole. He's getting back to the United way. Am I getting over excited? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because with the signings we have, I don't think it's going to be the same team we seen last year. And with the experience of last season, such a young squad we had. The forward players, McTominay, are all a year older. I'm expecting really, really good things. The defense now, boom, such a good defense.
One injury, and you're done.
To who?
To Maguire or Varane?
No, and we're done.
Done.
So Maguire and Lindelof, we're doing okay.
Nah,
we're not done. No way.
Not a hope in hell.
No. You can think that if you want, but no.
Can I just say, right? Paddy, during the week, I don't know if you sent it to me or you tagged me in.
The squad, the
depth, and I'm not joking, right? I looked at that and I said to myself, do you know what? That's fucking shite.
No.
And I looked at them players and I said to myself,
you should have stuck it up. You should have had it on the pod to stick up on the screen.
You had Mata sitting in some positions. You had fucking like Sancho. I'm not impressed by Sancho. That doesn't impress me. And then who was fucking his backup? I don't even know who. Daniel James. Fucking shite players. Like,
you're not impressed with Sancho?
No.
How could you be? Like,
hasn't done it for me in the Premier League, so I'll wait and I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and I'll give him 5 or 6 games, and then.
But you won't give him the benefit of the doubt. You didn't give him the benefit of the doubt. You're saying he's going to be winning before he even started.
He has to earn the benefit of the doubt.
He's to earn the benefit of the doubt, and then earn your respect.
He's getting slated before anything, and then when he starts playing well, then I'll kind of reel it in a bit.
Yeah, look, with Cavani to come back, Martial to come back to full fitness, Rashford to come back.
Martial Dort, Rashford Dort,
I'm feeling
Cavani
good.
old.
We'll probably get beaten by Southampton now, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a 5-0 or 5-1 against Southampton. I think it might be a much tighter game
Just 4-0.
against Southampton. Although I think last season we hammered them as well. I think it was a massively high scoring game. If I remember rightly, like it was like 6 or 7.
Was it?
Was it that big? Yeah, it was something really
something
big.
Ridiculous,
yeah. Which means they'll have something to play for this season because they won't want that to happen again. But I still think maybe a 3-1 for United. And I'm going to go for Bruno to score for us again. He's a machine.
I did have him in
like that winning mentality he has. Like even he came out last season, he's just like, yeah, whatever, just going on to the next game. And my goal is always just to do better than the season before. And he's just
Can you not admit in the last 10, 15 games he fell off the boil? And maybe
he played him too much. He was tired.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Not his own fault. He just played too much, and he was doing the work of maybe 4 men.
You should see it in the Euros as well.
Yeah.
It was shocking in the Euros, yeah. But again, he needed a break. We have a bit more back up there now for him. So,
do you?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah. We'll see.
I don't think so.
We'll see. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Give him the benefit. He has to fucking earn that shit. I don't think Sancho's going to do the job. I think Fernandes is going to burn himself out again.
Right, so you're saying he's going to burn himself out again, one injury, blah, 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 but you think United will be thereabouts for the league?
Yeah, I think they will be there, yeah.
Even with all the negative shit you're saying?
Yeah, no, I like to give them a bit of shit. I don't think they should have it as easy as the United fans think they should have it. I think they deserve a bit of shit. I think the media should start piling a bit of pressure on like they put on fucking everybody else that doesn't succeed. I don't think they should get an easy run to kind of teams rolling over and fucking letting them have their wins like they used to do under Fergie. I don't think they're a team to be feared, to be honest with you. But
I don't think that as well. That's what they're going for. And that's what Chelsea are going for. That's what every team is going for.
Yeah, I don't think many teams have that reputation at the moment. Even Man City, I think you're going to get dominated in possession, but I don't think they're going to be a team that can be kind of you'd be afraid of. I suppose you'd be wary of them.
Yeah, they will be. If you're outside the top 4.
I don't know. It's just the way the standard of the league has gone. I think everybody else's standard has really come up over the last kind of couple of seasons. Yeah. So I don't think we really get that kind of really dominating team. Like City, in fairness, have done it over the last couple of years. But if they get Kane, probably going to be a different story. So yeah, you're going with 3-1 and Fernandes.
3-1 and Bruno.
Okay. I'm going to say, I am with you on this one. I do think United are actually going to win. So I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for United, and I'm going to say Greenwood to score. I don't know whether Cavani's going to be back in time. Is he for next game?
Yeah, I think he might actually, but whether he starts is a different story. Ole probably won't risk it either, because he's at that age now where you don't want to be risking the likes of Cavani. Yeah. Like give him 20 minutes at the end of the game or something. Or if we need him, because that's what they done with Cavani a bit last season. Bring him on when we're in trouble.
There's no need to be starting and risking him.
Think Varane will start?
I would be surprised if he didn't. To be honest with you, dude. To be honest with you, though, Ollie has a habit of doing this with his new players. He doesn't start them the whole time, and he done it with was it Fernandes or no? Van de Beek, but although he didn't really play him at all. He didn't play him at all.
I think he's spread the red.
Yeah.
Can I just say Spurs lost tonight? 1-0.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm loving it.
Harry Kane's price just went up by 20 million.
Yeah. Daniel Levy's on the phone now. Lads, I am going to go with a 2-1 win, and I'm going to say whoever I said. Who did I say?
Greenwood.
I forgot about me, so shit.
Future Ballon d'Or winner.
Isn't it great? You have all the potential in the world, but potential's not guaranteed. Lads, we're going to move on to the next one.
Potential's not guaranteed. Potential is potential. Potential's not guaranteed to come good. That's
not guaranteed success.
Potential's not guaranteed.
2:00 on Sunday, lads. Wolves and Tottenham. 23-10 for Wolves, to 11-5 for the draw, and 5-4 for Tottenham. Paddy, come back to you straight away on this one. What do you reckon on this game?
What a
Wolves
result from
obviously
Spurs.
getting beaten 1-0 by Leicester. Spurs obviously beating City 1-0. How do you see this one go?
Yeah, I think again a very, very impressed with Spurs. Very impressed with Spurs. Like, to be honest with you, Kane not playing may have, solidified them a little bit because there wasn't one player that was above the rest.
Yeah.
They were more of a team. Maybe that's the way he's selling it to them. What's your man's name? Nuno?
Nuno Espirito,
yeah.
whatever.
He's gone back to his all ground as well. He won't want to lose there.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be a Spurs win. Very impressed with them last weekend. I think Son now, although we wasted a lot of chances last weekend, Son, like he took too many touches on the ball.
Yeah.
But I think he'll thrive now if he becomes the focal point of that team, which I think he will do because he's good enough to. I'd rate him a lot.
I think so.
So I'm going to go for a Spurs win. I'm going to go for 2-1 again, and I'm going to go for Son to score first.
Son, what are we tracking?
Yeah, I can't really look they get back against Tottenham. I think they've shown a lot of heart playing against City. They'll be perked up after that win. They'll be spurred on, and they'll probably have to react now after.
Spurred on. I like what you've done again.
And I didn't even realise it.
And he didn't realise it again.
2 weeks in a row.
It's like I just subliminally doing this, like.
Yeah, I must be thinking of in my head as I'm working, and I was like, I'll say that. So I'm gonna go for 2-1 win, and I'm gonna go for Bergwijn to score.
Yeah, okay. Lads, I'm thinking the same kind of thing. I think Spurs will get a win on this one. I'm gonna say a low scoring win though. I'm gonna say a 1-0 win. And I'm gonna go with Dele Alli to score. Hate him, don't like him, but I think he's gonna start kind of, because Kane is gone now. I don't know whether it's time for him to step up, and maybe he has something to prove. So I'm gonna go with him to score. Right, lads, we're moving on to the game of the week: Chelsea and Arsenal. 4:30 on Sunday. 18-5 for Arsenal, 13-5 for the draw, and 3-4 for Chelsea. Lads, obviously, Chelsea, European champions. European champions, playing obviously against a poor Arsenal team.
That's the worst trophy I've ever seen in my life.
I presume Lacazette and Aubameyang are still going to be out unless they've miraculously recovered from COVID. Obviously coming off a really poor loss against Brentford. Paddy, what way do you see this one going? Chelsea obviously having a decent enough win against Palace. Could have been a harder game, but we made it look pretty easy.
Well, Arsenal got their man today.
Odegaard.
Oh, they'll be happy with him, yeah. And now Aubameyang will be back. I
Will he
can't look past Arsenal for this game, to be honest with you.
Will they be available though? I don't know. They pulled out because of COVID, so isn't it a 10-day isolation?
Even without them, I can't look past Arsenal. I just think they'll be too strong for Chelsea.
Fuck off.
Ben White is going to boss Lukaku. He's going to have an absolute...
No, look, I think, in all honesty, it's a derby. Anything could happen, but I can't look past Chelsea. I really can't. What I'm kind of seeing myself in my head here is I'm thinking, will Arsenal even score? And that's the only thing I have in my head. I think Chelsea will definitely score more than Arsenal, but will they even score? And I can't even be sure of that. So I'm going to go for a Chelsea win, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 win. Okay. And who will I go? Yeah, Lukaku. We think Lukaku will play?
I think he should start, yeah. I don't see why not. We've got rid of Tammy Abraham, which was fair play to Tammy Abraham. 40 million or something he went for, which is probably a bit too much for him at the moment. But he's in there, and he's probably going to be ready to go. He's been training with the team as well. So,
if you're talking about Arsenal being bullied, Lukaku is just... You just throw them around like ragdolls.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see.
And then go to Greg's for a lot of players.
We're going to move on before Paddy starts abusing Lukaku yet again about eating a lot of players. What way do you see this one going?
It's just Chelsea all the way. I sent in a photo into the group there about Arsenal's recruitment this summer, and it's shocking. You're buying Aaron Ramsdale, who went from Bournemouth to Sheffield United. What's the common denominator? Bournemouth got relegated. He went to Sheffield. Sheffield United got relegated. You heard it here, folks. Arsenal are getting relegated. That's it. It's happening. Put your money on it. Put your deposit on it. It's happening. Odegaard, he's not a new addition. They're just 30 million for. Didn't really do much last season, so it's not really a new addition to the squad. I wasn't that
impressed with him, to be honest with you. I was expecting a little bit more from him. Like,
I think they're desperate. The recruitment-wise, they're desperate. They thought they were able to get James Maddison and all these people. Would you give over? You're not even a mid-level club anymore. Like, it's just going to be. It's going to be like the derby is the only thing that's thrown me. It's going to be. I'll be kind to them. 3-0 Chelsea.
Arteta forced manager to be sacked for the season.
What? Without doubt.
Like, will they sack him? Or will they give him time?
No,
I don't like him.
They'll give him the first quarter. They'll give him, like, to be honest, if he loses like more than half of the first half of the season's games, he's gone.
Up to Christmas, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets sacked, but then at the same time, what?
They've spent over 100 million, right? And out of that money, so they spent 104 million pounds. They've got Aaron Ramsdale, Ben White, and Odegaard, who's not a new addition. Over 100 million, and you bought piss. Like, you bought absolute
That's
piss.
The standard of player they're going to get now. Like, look, Odegaard was always kind of like a wonder kid as such, like, and always had great potential. Again, like Jadon Sancho. Like, I just think he never really reached his full potential. And and I just think that I actually think Ben White's not a bad addition. Look, he had a bit of a mare there on the first game, but probably nerves. Like, he has to adapt now to a certain way of playing. Arsenal would have a little bit more possession than he's used to at Leeds, or I suppose at Brighton, the last two clubs he was at. So he's going to have to get used to playing with the ball at his feet a lot more. I think it was similar enough to kind of the Harry Kane situation. Or sorry, not Harry Kane, Harry Maguire situation at United, where the first season he kind of came in, he was getting caught in the ball a lot. I think he just realises he needs to be a little bit sharper on the ball and better with his feet. And he kind of adapted to it. So I think give Ben White a couple of games, and I think he'll find his feet a little bit better than he has. But I still see Chelsea kind of bullying them in this game. They'll dominate possession. Kante is back in training. Ziyech is back in training. Ziyech, to me, I thought would have had a really good season. He was doing really well in the preseason, but obviously picked up a shoulder injury in that fucking Super Cup. What score do I see it being? I still see it being tight. I'm going to say 2-1 to Chelsea. And I'm going to say Mason Mount to score, because obviously he's kind of boyhood Chelsea player, and it's a derby, so he'll be a little bit fired up more than the rest of them, we think. Right, lads, we'll move on. Last game of the week, West Ham and Leicester. So 13-8 for West Ham, 13-5 for the draw, and 6-4 for Leicester. Lads, it's going to be a decent enough game. Two teams obviously getting a win start of the season. They had a really strong season last season. Leicester may have slipped a little bit more, I suppose, towards the end of the season. West Ham a little bit as well. How do we see this one going? We won't go into it too much longer, lads. We're nearly at the hour mark. We have a little bit to still do. So, Paddy, what do you reckon on this one? 13-8 for West Ham against Leicester is a good price. Do you see it going Leicester's way or West Ham?
I'm going to go game of the weekend.
Really, yeah?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. They played towards the end of last season, and it was a really, really good game. West Ham won that. But I think this is going to be a really, really good game. Good evening game. West Ham, great result last week. Leicester done well. So yeah, I think West Ham are going to win as well, because I think West Ham are going to do really well this season. Again, not up where near the top four or anything like that, but yeah, I really like the squad that's been assembled. The transfer window is not open. If they could get the money up to buy Jesse Lingard as well, it'd do them well. Antonio, great player up front. I'm going to go for West Ham 2-1 win, and I'm going to go for Antonio to score first.
Okay, and War? Yeah, I think it is the game of the weekend, in all honesty, as well as Paddy. Like, I think it's two very well matched teams with loads of really exciting players that are really going to be really up for the season, because they both know that they can do really well. I think it's still very early in the season, so maybe they're not at peak sharpness. I'm actually going to go for a draw here, but it will be a really entertaining game. I'm going to go for a 2-2 the draw, and I'm going to go for Vardy to keep his goal scoring run, because it was good to see him back on the scoring sheet last week.
I was saying 2-2 as well. I'm going to stick with 2-2 because I do think there's going to be goals and it's going to be end to end. I think it'll be a really good match again, like the lads are saying. I do think it's going to be entertaining. I think there's going to be goals. I am going to go 2-2 as well. And I'm going to say Maddison to score. I think he might just nip one from the edge of the box in. I'm just going to describe his goal, right? Because I know what it's like because I've already seen it. So it's running down the right wing, gets crossed, hits the first man. He kind of scuffs the ball out to the edge of the box, and Maddison runs in, and he just side foots the bottom left corner. So that's exactly what's going to happen. So if that happens, you're welcome. Right, lads, we are finished on the prediction side of things. Lads, we are about to go into our debut segment, which is called the Footballbets4u fashion show. Absolutely beautiful. Lads, what we're going to be doing on this is we are going to be taking, I explained it earlier on, but anyone that hasn't or wasn't listening, we're going to be looking at each team's kit, first, second, and third kit for the season. We're going to be going through all the Premier League teams. And we're going to be basically rating them. Lads, I don't want round numbers. I don't want rookie scores. I don't want sixes. I want 6.4s. I want 6.3s. I want this to be really accurate. I don't know. I don't think there's such thing as a 10 out of 10 kit. I don't think there ever will be. So
I had the kit here.
If you no. If you start throwing out 10 out of 10s, we're going to have to get rid of you because outrageous behaviour. Lads, we're going to look at Arsenal's kits first off. So I'll be pulling up the screen here and we're going to be looking at Arsenal's home kit. So, lads, right off the bat, what do you think? Anything pop out at you? Anything stand out? How does the logo? How does the sponsors look? Are you liking the kind of the pattern where kind of the red runs into the white? What do you reckon? Give me your thoughts on this one.
Usually Arsenal are renowned for like having neat and very slick looking jerseys. This one is nice, but I think the top bit is throwing me off. I like the crest. I like the sponsor. I actually like the sleeves, but the top part is throwing me off with the three stripes. Yeah. The blue and the three stripes on the shoulders are throwing me off it. I just don't think it's... I think Arsenal can do better in terms of jerseys.
Okay. Paddy, what's your first thoughts on this one?
And the only real thought I'd have is that I see that the neckline is fairly low and it'll really show off their cleavage when they're being bullied during the match. Yeah.
I don't know whether that's from being stretched from someone that was bullying them before.
It's a nice jersey. It is. Well, it's all right. Like it's.
What we thinking down here, down the bottom right, we've got Aero ready. So I don't know.
So they're ready for an Aero bar.
Yeah.
Ready to get destroyed by your other team.
Lads, do we want
this
to?
This must be a great segment for the audio listeners.
Do we want to see? Oh yeah. If anyone's watching on or listening on Spotify, now's the time to turn it off. You're on 1 hour and 4 minutes. Go onto the YouTube channel. Click episode 2, season 4. And go to 1 minute or 1 hour and 4 minutes, and you will see what we're talking about. So there you go, lads. Do we want to look at the next two jerseys so we can kind of get a reference and before we give scores? So we go to the other two jerseys. Okay, right. So how do I go across? Oh wait, hold on. Need to unzoom, and then we can go across. So here we have their second jersey. So for any of our listeners rather than viewers. It's a yellow jersey. It's got the cannon as the crest. It doesn't have the full crest, which is unusual. Never really see that kind of half a crest going in there. Emirates Fly Bar is their sponsor with the Adidas logo on it. What are initial thoughts on this one?
I really like the style of this jersey, and I much prefer the cannon as the crest
That's the crest,
compared to the other. I think the cannon the cannon on its own is a
Looks
great
good,
crest
doesn't
for
it?
it.
Oh, hold on.
It looks.
It's the bomb.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, the only thing that's throwing me off is the bleeding color of the thing. What
Yellow.
is that yellow like?
Yeah.
It's rotten.
I like yellow jerseys. Chelsea have a lot of them in the past. You are also wearing a yellow jersey yourself, or might I just add? So
That isn't that's a piss yellow. That's
what
the
is this
piss that
thing?
you see when you go to the pub on a night out
Can
after
you
a
just lift
rake of
yourself up
pints.
there, Water, just so the people can see the jersey you're wearing? And you have the audacity to call this one here piss and dirt and shit and whatever you call it. How dare you?
Oh, sorry,
How
Collie, I wasn't
dare
talking about that one. I was
Absolutely,
talking about
take
the
off
one
your
you
Man
were
City
wearing
jersey.
now.
Sorry?
So take off your Man City jersey, Collie.
Shuts up.
You know, they have
Lads,
Velcro badges, Paddy. So when they want to support the other team when they're winning, they just swap the badges over.
Interchangeable.
you like Paddy, what are you talking about on this jersey? Does it tickle your fancy or no?
I already said it was the bomb. That was all I had to say.
Is that it? Okay.
No, yeah, not crazy. Bit retro, bit old school in the look and feel of it. But yeah, it's good. Sorry,
feel of it. You feel there?
Yeah.
If Adidas wants to send us out any samples so we can do a thorough review of each jersey, you know.
So there we have the home, the away, and now lads, we're moving on to the tour jersey. I'm gonna just throw my initial thoughts out there. Big fan of this.
Massive fan of this one. Beautiful.
I do like this. I like what they've done all around with the colouring of this. Whoever has come up with these two colours together, fair play to them, because you should be a fucking house designer or something like that, or an interior designer, because fantastic work on this one. I'm loving the red Adidas logo. I think that's a nice little addition on it. Shall we have a little zoom in on that just so we can see it?
Go on.
There we have it. Our little red coloured in Adidas logo. Looks like someone's kids out there colouring that in with a marker. Paddy, so we know Water's a fan of this, and what do you reckon? Are you a fan of this type of design?
Yeah, it's lovely. It's like lightning. It's great.
It's electric.
It's electric, yeah. Yeah, it's a good, decent jersey, yeah. What would I like about it? I mostly like Adidas' jerseys all the time. I really do think they're the best at making jerseys. Yeah, I never, when United were with Nike, I wasn't mad about the Nike jerseys, I have to say. Now, that's just not a Chelsea thing. I'm saying it now to wind you up or anything like that. I just think Adidas do
Chelsea
better sports clothes.
Yeah.
Huh?
And the Chelsea used to be Adidas.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah. But yeah, I don't really know what to say. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
Jersey. Of the three jerseys together, I'd probably give them a score of maybe 6 out of 10.
Oh, what did I say? I said no round numbers. Don't be giving me rookie scores like this. I want 6.1, 6.2. We're going to get specific here. Before you give your score, sorry, I would just want to get Water. I know you're a fan of this one, so I do want you to tell me what you like in particular about this one.
I really like the design of it. I really like the colour of it. It has like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air vibes off it. It has like an 80s vibe off it. Like it's unreal.
Like, do you know what? Do you know what this reminds me of? Saved by the Bell. You know the opening credits and Saved by the Bell?
Exactly.
That's what I'm getting. Loving it.
And in terms of the only thing I'd change to make it near perfect, if they just had a red cannon as the crest.
Yeah, okay. Right. Lads, we're going to score these. Now, look, Paddy, you can give me a 6 all you want, right? But don't be going 6s, 6.5. I want 6.1, 6.2. Let's get specific with this, because
6.0.
We're gonna have 60 jerseys at the end of this. So we need to.
I'm gonna go. Okay. I'm gonna go for
5.5. Each jersey or the 3 as a total?
No, we're going each jersey. I want the prediction for each jersey here. So lads, we're starting off with the home kit. Water, can I get a score, please?
5.5.
Okay, Paddy.
5.1.
Lads, I just think, sorry, I didn't really give my opinion on this. I think you're being a little bit harsh on this. It's very plain, but it's very simple, and I like it. I'm a fan
You say
of
you'd
it.
lick it or you like it?
No, I like it. I'd also lick it and spit on it, but mostly I like it. I would
the OnlyFans page if anybody's listening to that.
I would put this up a little bit higher than yours, lads. I think compared to some of the jerseys in the league, I think they're shocking. This one is not a bad jersey. I'm gonna go with a 6.7 for this one. I think it's a lot better. Do you know what? I think it's 7.2. I think it's a little bit better than this. I'm gonna go with 7.2 on this one, lads.
You're very close.
Right, next jersey, lads, the yellow one. Paddy, score.
You didn't hear that.
Or don't score. Water, you can give us a score.
Sorry, you're looking for score. Sorry.
Go on, Water, you give us them.
5.7. It's a better jersey than the other one, but just the colour.
Okay. Paddy?
Yeah, I'm going to go for a 3.5 here because, no, I'm not mad about this one whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. I do like the Canon.
It's just the colour of the yellow, like it was more of an luminous yellow, because I remember Chelsea, the one you were talking about that they had got, it was nice. I liked that one.
Yeah, it was kind of, it was a bit more luminous. I'm not a massive, huge fan of this one. I'm going to go with a 5.6 on this one. I don't really think it's great. Lads, moving on to this one. I think we all agree that this one is probably the best of the three. Water, can I get a score from you on this one?
Solid 7.5.
Okay. Paddy?
6.8.
Okay. I'm gonna say a 7.7 on this one. I think it's gonna be up there with one of the better ones of the season. So I'm going with solid 7.7 on this. So yeah, lads, that concludes our fashion show for the week. We will be back next week with Aston Villa, so be sure to set the reminders for that. Lads, we're going to move into the last thing of the show. We'll make it pretty quick, which is the betting. So, lads, you have done out one or two bets. Our €0 to 1,000 challenge, €10 to 1,000 challenge. Mine was going so well, and then I jumped the gun, put another treble on, and unfortunately Villarreal drew 0-0 and let me down. So back to a tenner we go. Paddy, you've done your bet out, haven't you?
Yes.
And what have you got for us?
I'm starting out again, 10 to 1,000. I done both teams to score. I done 5 teams, but I done 2 matches for both teams not to score and 3 matches for both teams to score.
Okay.
So for the both teams not to score, I done Liverpool Burnley because I think Liverpool are going to keep a clean sheet, and Manchester City Norwich because I think City are going to keep a clean sheet.
Yeah.
And they're both teams to score. I went for Villa Newcastle, Leeds Everton, and Arsenal Chelsea.
Okay, decent. And so what did you put on that?
Sorry, the returns on that. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. For €10, I'm getting back 129.27.
That's a very good price, actually, isn't it?
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Really yeah. Water, what have you got for me?
So I have 3 done. So my 10 to 10,000 also failed at the first hurdle. So we're
going to just stop you there, Water. Right? If you're going to 10,000, best of luck. We're going to say 10 to 1,000. 10
to 1,000, all right.
I mean, I love the enthusiasm.
Yeah. So the first one is for the Chelsea and Arsenal game. It's a goal for Lukaku, an offside for Lukaku, an assist by Mason Mount, and a tackle by Xhaka. 11 to 1, so €4 get me back 48. And then for the United Southampton game, with James Ward-Prowse to score from outside the area. He's a free kick specialist, so at 12 to 1. So another £4 will get me back 52. And then for the Leeds and Everton game, with both teams to score in both halves, 2+ corners for each team in each half, and then 20 booking points for each team. Is that 100 to 1? So a nice €2 bet for that. Give me 2
I
and
like the
2
idea
back.
of breaking it up. I like the idea.
It's not bad, is it? It's kind of spreading it across.
Yeah.
But I suppose I'll give you my 10 to 1,000 straight away then. Where have I put a tenner on this? We got this one here. So I've done a 4-fall, lads. I've done one from each league. So I've gone with Liverpool to beat Burnley. I've gone with Bournemouth to beat Blackpool. I've gone with Portsmouth to beat Doncaster. And I've gone with Forest Green to beat Crawley. So lads, that's 6.26 to 1. So that'll get me back 72 quid if that wins. I really kind of fancy them 4 teams. So Forest Green have had a great start, and Portsmouth are the same. Doncaster have lost their last 5 or 6. So so that's my one. Lads, will I run through what else I've got here?
Oh yeah, sure. Football bets for you.
Yeah, these are the football bets for you. So lads, I've done a euro on all the predictions that I done today on the pod. So I went with Liverpool, Palace, the draw between Villa and Newcastle, Everton to win, City, Brighton, United, Spurs, Chelsea, and the draw between West Ham and Leicester. Lads, that euro will get you back 1,400 quid. So if I'm spot on with all my predictions, I'm a rich man. Lads, I've broke up a couple of bets then. I'll go through them real quick. So I have a fiver on a 9-fold. It returns €836. So I've gone with Liverpool. I've gone with QPR, Bournemouth, Fulham, Stoke, Burton, Portsmouth, Sunderland, and Forest Green again. So pretty much all the teams that I had in that bet is thrown into this as well. So that fiver will get you back 836 quid. Worth a look at that one. That is my 10 to 1,000 bet. And then I've €2 on 4 draws, lads. I've gone with Rotherham and Sheffield Wednesday to draw. I've gone with Blackburn and West Brom to draw. I've gone with Bolton and Oxford to draw. And I've gone with Harrogate and Barrow to draw. So 2 quid will get me back 226. I've then thrown another 2 quid, lad, on a couple of both teams to score and win. So I've gone with Fulham, both teams to score and win. Portsmouth, both teams to score and win. Wickham, both teams to score and win. Celtic, both teams to score and win. And Lazio, both teams to score and win. Lads, that €2 will get you back €1,400. So, not kind of bad few bets there. I definitely think it'll get a lot easier for bets now that we have the fans back in the stadium. Getting that home advantage again is going to be a massive thing. Probably going to see a lot more consistency with the home teams in terms of kind of results and stuff. So, I think there's probably going to be a few bets being won this season, lads, and hopefully we're on the end of a couple of big ones.
Absolutely.
Lads, we're going to end it there. We've gone an hour and 20 into it, so not too bad. Again, we do have a couple of, like I said, that new fashion show. We'll probably quicken it up next week. We're still trying to figure out our best format for the podcast. So if anybody does have any suggestions or ideas or what they like, what they don't like, send them in to us. Get me on Instagram, the Footballbets4u podcast. You are talking to me there. So, send them in to us. Lads, it's been a pleasure. War, thanks for coming on.
No worries. Always a pleasure.
And Paddy, nice one.
Thanks very much. I'll send in a comment about the fashion show after this.
Make sure anybody that's watching on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you're watching, just make sure you subscribe, follow the channel, wherever you're watching it. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.